for nothing.
Or the guys that go to the water fountain between every set, and they take 5 minutes, and then before you know it, if you see a buddy along the way, there goes 10 minutes of your time. You come back, you're cold, you're like, oh crap, I get back into it again.
And all the momentum is lost, which you know we've been talking about a lot lately too. So definitely really important. Keep all your workouts fast. Another really important principle that you talked to me about is that everything has to be simple. Why is that?
Well, the reason why exercises have to be simple, number one reason, so this way you're able to get started easier. Imagine if you found something that was really, really complicated to do. I mean, nobody likes to do complicated things. You know, if you find that, you know, things that you do on a daily basis, maybe besides work, usually are pretty simple. And if they weren't in the beginning, they are now. And the reason why is because, you know, you only continue things that are easy to do. And working out shouldn't be one of them. You'll find that if you look at a lot of different exercise programs, you look in the magazines, you know, there's programs everywhere and all these little workouts. A lot of them are so difficult to follow, and, you know, that it's really hard to get started. So that's why we made the program very, very easy to get started, because it's really simple. You know, I couldn't have worked out for this long without stopping if, you know, this program was very hard. You know, it was very complicated. A lot of times you'll see guys, they bring in, you know, these workout worksheets and everything. They try to follow everything, and it gets so confusing that you're spending all this mental energy trying to either memorize or trying to, you know, try to figure out how to do these exercises and which machine to go to. At the end, it's like, wow, you know, I spent all this time and effort on it, and the real time and effort should be spent actually exercising, not studying your workouts. So you'll find that simplicity is also another key into success, into keeping up with your workouts and making sure that you're always doing them. Another thing is, when you're doing simple workouts, they're also more effective, you know, than the more complicated new machines that they seem to be coming out with every single year. You'll notice there's different settings, and they're always coming out with little things that make it just a little easier for you. Well, easy isn't going to get you in shape, but simple will get you in shape. You know, so you'll see that simple exercise allow you to use the right muscle groups, allow you to be in your natural posture instead of you know, getting into a weird position, because that's the way the machines are set up. So that's why simple exercises and simplicity is one of the key factors in the program, and that's why it's also very effective.
Yeah, and this is something which my jiu-jitsu instructor, Dave Ginsburg, talked to me a lot about, where he said that, you know, really the only people who are doing the complicated stuff are beginners, because they're the ones who have, like, fallen for the idea that all that stuff works. But really, you know, the people who have gotten to the mastery level, to the black belt level, and, you know, whatever they want to achieve, they're just doing the simple stuff more effectively than everybody else is. They've just mastered the fine details, and that's really what it's going to come down to.
Exactly. I mean, you'll see in my workouts now, I'm still doing the same simple stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
People are like, you know, what do you do for your arms? Curls. You know?
but the curls are just done with, you know, the details of the form right, and like the exact right amount of repetitions, and like all the details that really make it.
It's all about the techniques at the end. It's simple exercises, but applying the right techniques. The techniques can be advanced, but the exercises are still simple.
Yeah.
So, exactly.
Very important principle. Another really important principle that you talked to me about is effectiveness. What do you mean by effectiveness, and why is it so important?
Well, effectiveness is basically, it has to work. Your exercises have to be effective. They have to change your body in the right direction. A lot of people would follow a workout, you know, they'll follow an eating habit or eating a plan, and they'll just follow it kind of blindly, you know, but at the end, you got to use your common sense, and you got to look in the mirror, and you got to, you know, do things to measure the effectiveness of your workout, because effectiveness at the end of the day is what counts. If you follow everything right, and you follow everything to a T and exactly what I'm saying, and you don't see the changes in your body, then, you know, the workout's not working. It's not effective. And so I found that out a long time ago, because, you know, I studied on so much about exercising and fitness and eating, and, you know, sometimes I study and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and try it out, and I'm following exactly like it said, and my body doesn't change. And I'm thinking, well, you know, God, I don't know what it is, and I thought about it, well, it just doesn't work for me. But what I really found at the end was that I just was doing it wrong. So this is a way that you can find and stop wasting so much time, because if you go ahead and make sure that you're getting the results and that you have a way of tracking it, and you'll see that in our program, you actually track your results on a weekly basis. This way you know that every step of the way your workouts are effective, your eating habits are effective. And it really boils down to only three things. You know, when you follow this program exactly like the way I put it together, there is no way that's not going to be effective. But here's the thing. if you think you're following it right and it is not, you have to look at three things: your workouts, your eating habits or your diet, and at the very end, sleep. And so most of the time, sleep wouldn't be one of them, because sleep is about far the easiest one to do. Get your 6 to 8 hours and you'll be okay. But the working out and the eating. So it's got to be usually one of the two. And most likely, in getting a six-pack, it boils down to a little bit with the eating. Your calories may be just a little bit too high. But that's the thing, though. You have to narrow it down, and it all has to do with trying to figure out if your workouts are effective, if what you're doing is effective. So that's why it's such an important principle.
Yeah, definitely. And another big factor that you talked to me about, which is super important for effectiveness, is like really doing everything super consistently. And I know, like what's your opinion on this? Do you think it's better to get like a few like awesome workouts every once in a while, or like just okay workout consistently?
That's an important point. I find a lot of guys will go ahead and the reason why they can't start is because, like you said, they're trying to get these awesome, perfect workouts. Yeah. Get your shakes, post-workout shakes, your pre-workout shakes, and make sure, you have your straps and you got your, hydroxy cuts and all that stuff.
Gloves.
And so none of that matters. The only thing that matters is that you're consistent in your exercises. And I always tell people, you know what, it's more effective for you to consistently work out 5 days a week at only 10 minutes a day than it is for you to work out one time in 5 days, for an hour and a half. The reason why is because it's more effective. Okay, it's more effective to be more consistent. So don't worry about, trying to get these perfect workouts. Barely any of my workouts are perfect. I just get in, I have a set time that I go, and I get in, and if I don't feel well, I still do it. If I feel well, I still do it. If I didn't wear the right pants, if I wore slacks that day, you'll see, I work out in slacks sometimes. I don't care. If I'm not squatting, then I can work out in slacks, because I'm not going to stop myself from getting into workout because of, clothes or because of anything. I've worked out barefoot, okay? So just to give you an idea of how important consistency is, make sure you get in there and make sure you get something done, because it's more effective than doing nothing or a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so one other big differentiator which you've noticed and which I've noticed is that the people who get the six-pack abs, they don't procrastinate. Whereas the people who fail to get results, they have all these excuses and they procrastinate all the time. Can you talk to us a little bit about that? Like, why is it so important to totally eliminate procrastination?
Well, procrastination is by far the #1 key why people aren't in shape. Why somebody wouldn't have a six-pack. You have to start. You can watch all these videos and you can go and study and plan, but you have to take action. And so the #1 thing you need to do, before watching all of these or before learning and understanding all the principles, is to just start. You go right into the workouts and just start that #1 first workout, day one of phase one, because you got to go ahead and get going. Only the people that are out of shape are the ones that procrastinate. I don't care how much knowledge they know. I don't care how much studying they know. I don't care how many courses they have got before. If they never applied it, if they never actually took action, then they're just procrastinating. So you have to take action. That's by far the most important. So that is something that you have to implement right away before anything else. So what I recommend for you to do is to go ahead and, if you're watching this in the daytime and you have a little bit of time, 30 to 45 minutes after this, go and work out. Get that first workout in and get the ball rolling. Don't worry about the perfect setup. Don't worry about if you have the right clothes. Don't worry about if you, haven't bought your supplements or your vitamins. Just go now and get it going. So this way you won't have procrastination as one of the obstacles.
Definitely, yeah. And, I can remember this one time where I was talking to one of my friends who was a little bit out of shape, and we were driving in the car and talking like, yeah, man, I think it's cool how you did all this stuff to get in shape. I really want to do it. Fitness is really the most important thing in my life right now, and I'm going to do it, and, I'm definitely dedicated to doing it. I'm like, oh, that's cool, man. Why don't we go work out when we drive home right now? And he's like, well, I actually got a lot of stress in my life right now, so I think I'm going to wait a couple weeks. And, he has all these, excuses for why fitness is so important, but why he can't do it right now. And unfortunately, the thing was, that perfect day never came, and he's still out of shape because of that. Whereas I know that the guys who have been successful with this, they're all the same. We tell them something, and they're like, oh, that's great, let's do it right now, and they go do it right away. So yeah, I really want to emphasize that when we say go work out right now or go do this right now, we don't mean that figuratively. We mean pause the video, put on your gym shorts and go work out literally right now. It's so important.
Is there ever a perfect time?
Yeah, exactly. And you think the perfect time is going to come when there's no stress and, you know, you've eaten 45 minutes before and you have the perfect supplements or whatever. There is no perfect time. You just got to start immediately.
Exactly. I've heard every excuse under the sun. You know, I can write a whole book of excuses, you know. Oh, I'll start in 2 weeks once this project is done. Or, but just start. Just do something, okay?
Yeah.
So take this to heart, okay? 'Cause this is by far probably one of the most important things in this entire program. If you can just get going, you know, you will go through the errors. So that's one thing I want to tap on. You know, a lot of guys don't start also, you know, besides the procrastination is, you know, they think like, oh crap, I don't know how to do everything yet, and you know, I don't want to mess up. So they're looking for either this perfect or nothing.
Yeah.
You know, so hey, if you don't know how to exercise or you don't have the right, you know, the right setting and everything, it doesn't matter. Just get things rolling. Just remember, you know, you can take baby steps in the beginning, and you'll see that your steps will get bigger along the way. And before you know it, you'll be taking leaps and leaps and leaps into your progress and into your six-pack. So just get started and take little baby steps, because all that matters is that you're moving forward just a little bit, okay? That just a little bit will inch your way into your goal.
Exactly. It's like the concept we've been talking about lately of momentum. Like if you guys have ever pushed a car when it's in neutral, and when a car is like at a dead stop, it's really hard to get it going. But once you have it rolling, you know, it's comparatively easy to keep it going. And it's like that with working out too. Like if you can at least get started doing a little bit, it'll be a lot easier to keep that going than if you're going from a dead stop of doing nothing and trying to, you know, start something up from there.
Definitely.
Okay, so that's it for this video. Thanks for watching this video, guys, and we'll see you in the next video where we'll explain more about the program.